right, welcome back to another episode with Sledgehammer Tie-Dyes. Today I'm going to be doing a glitch design. Glitch designs are pretty sick, and they're one of the most satisfying things to actually fold up. As always, this is a shirt that's been soaked in soda ash and spun out, and it's been flipped inside out because we're going to do an ice dye. So the things that you need for the glitch, you need 2 rulers, or two yardstick is definitely needed, and you can either use 2 yardsticks or you can use, I just use this because I only have 1 yardstick. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna run this guy under the shirt, and I'm gonna use this guy on top. So what we're doing is we're folding this shirt on top of itself, kind of like this. And we're going to be doing this all the way up the whole shirt. So you want this to come all the way down. First one might be a little tricky. Okay. So now that we folded that over, I'm going to take the ruler back out and we're going to set it above where that first flip was. So you can kind of use the yardstick underneath. And that's where you want that to go. Then we're going to pull out the yardstick, slide that guy up. And we're going to do the same thing. Fold it down. Oop, that was bad. And you want to get it to just where the previous fold was. You don't want to go and overlap things too much. So even though you have, one fold here, you want the next one to be right next to it. You don't want them overlapping. All right, so let's move this guy up. Put it right at the edge of where that last one was. And continue flipping. All right, so this is the first stage of the fold that we need to do. So now what we're gonna do is work on it the other way. So I'm gonna turn this 90 degrees, being careful not to move our folds. And now we're going to start doing the same exact thing that we were just doing, only going this way. Okay. So now we got a little miniature t-shirt. Ain't it the cutest darn thing? Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna accordion fold this up basically, and along the diagonal of this guy. So I like to take this guy, pull him up, this, and then you can use this guy to kind of get it down there, scrunch it up, so that way you know you're getting a nice fold on it. And just be careful that you're not losing all those folds that you had just done. You might lose a couple out on the edges, and that's okay. It's not going to be the end of it. All right, so now what we need is some kite string. Man, I just had a total brain fart of how to do a slip knot. There we go. All right, and so we want this to go right across the middle with all of these, most of the folds that we can. And all we're doing is just wrapping this guy up so it will stay in position, unlike my freaking kite string, which wants to go everywhere. All right, so there's that. Now we know it's not going anywhere. I kind of compressed it down together to hold it pretty tight. Okay, so now what we need to do, get these out of the way, is come in with some sinew. So what we're going to be doing with the sinew is I'm just going to be putting 4 lines down the center, and that'll give us kind of like these white zigzaggy lines. And you can do, you know, as many as you want. You can not do any if you don't want any white lines coming through it. That can look cool as well. But I personally like to have the white lines. And it'll come about right here. About right here. And one last one. All right, there we go. That is that tied up. All right, time to get this on some ice and dye. Okay, so now the time to put some dye on this guy. So the color choices that I have are golden yellow, blue violet, and bronze. So what you can do with these guys, you can follow your guidelines right here and just put like one color, one color, one color, one color, one color. But I kind of like to ignore it, and whatever comes out will be really cool, because this will still trap the colors. But say you've got like a little overlap and you might have like a, you know, purple running down here, but then red right there if you're using red and blue. So yeah, it breaks it up into really interesting things. So I'm going to put this out in like 7 patches. So actually I can mark that out. So 16 divided by 7. Okay, so that ends up coming out to about 2 1/4. So we'll just go with that. So that's about the spacing that I'll be using. And I'm actually going to use bronze as a repeating color to kind of go in between the blue violet and the golden yellow. All right, so as you can see at this point, we're gonna have, I can either do 2 blues and a yellow or 2 yellows and a blue. Personally, I kind of like it to be a little bit darker of a shirt with a highlight in the middle. So I'm gonna put the blue here and here. And next up, the golden yellow. Alrighty, so now we need soda ash. And I went ahead and made up a barrier for this guy. And then I'm going to get some forceps just to pin it in. And a little tip for you, if you ever have your forceps not wanting to stand upright and you're kind of afraid they might do something weird, fall over or whatnot, you can use masking tape. Just go around everything. So now we just need some ice. Oh, and also, normally whenever I do these, I put the barrier up before I drop the dye in, and that'll save you from all of the stuff that went and fell on the bottom. It'll just kind of stick in there and it'll actually go into the shirt. I just did it this way so you could see exactly what my thought process is, but usually I just kind of estimate my patches of where my color is. I don't usually mark it out and do it like I just did. I just wanted you guys to be able to see what I was doing. And now time for some ice. And the last thing is to put another layer of soda ash on top. I'm gonna move this huge chunk first though. All right, and that's it. So we will come back in about 24 hours after the ice is melted and see what we got. Okay, well it's been 24 hours since the ice is melted, so time to rinse this sucker out and see what we got. Let's hit it with that cold water. Okay. So that's kind of what it looks like now. But a lot of this color is going to come out in the wash. So let's go do it. Okay, so it's out of the wash and this is what we got. Turned out pretty good. Just to explain the reason why I chose the bronze, the yellow, and the blue, I do have a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, who has requested a shirt that was brown, yellow, and blue. I asked him, what colors would you like a shirt, without explaining what the shirt was, and those are the colors he gave me. And I'm like, well, geez, brown, talk about a curveball. So yeah, I chose bronze just to see how it would go. I did know that bronze does kind of split a little bit, so I just wanted to see what it would do. So yeah, that's where this experiment came from. It's pretty good. I like the bordering of the brown and the yellow. I'm definitely going to do that for his shirt. This is not his size, so I'll have to do a different one, and I might choose a different brown. This one, I just want something a little bit lighter. If I do use this bronze, I'll just put kind of like a lighter coating of it so I can get kind of these tones rather than these tones. But I'll see what he says and see if he likes what this looks like. But overall, I think it's pretty sick. I like how the indigo blue broke into purple and blue. And yeah, it's pretty sick. We did have a lot of white bits, but that's honestly because of the yellow. Yellow just doesn't tend to stick very well. There are some colors that don't like to just, well, it's not that they don't like, they're just not as powerful, I guess you could say. Yellow is one of them. Pink is another one. If you try to ice dye with pink, you're going to end up with basically white. But this one, yeah, it's not good. It's not bad. I think it's pretty cool. All right, well, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. And maybe throw out some color combinations, and I'll see what I can do with them for you guys. All right. Like and subscribe if you like it. Like and subscribe if you liked it. And I'll see you in the next video.